when we start to call something wicked good or justice, that's a problem. When we're crying for justice, what we should mean by that is that we want the truth to come out. We want a verdict that, and I think this is where we're getting into kind of a little bit of my theory of humanity. But I think that God has kind of baked it into our what it means to reflect his likeness and be created in his image, that we kind of know when justice has been rendered. And what we mean by that is that there is a just verdict, a verdict that reflects reality, that the punishment fits the crime, that the evidence has been established properly, and that that's what we mean by justice. And I think that is a reflection of the fact that God is the ultimate lawgiver, and we are trying to reflect his likeness through our human court systems. And that's what makes it so gross when we call wicked things justice. And I'm going to give you an example of that right now. In California, in the state in which I live, we have a pretty significant problem with theft from stores. A number of years ago, we passed, I don't know why we did this, I didn't vote for it, but we have a law here that the voters of California passed that you can steal up to $950 worth of merchandise. And if you get caught, which the chances of getting caught are low in California, but if you get caught, it will only be a misdemeanor, okay? We also recently passed a law that decriminalizes a lot of things that used to be considered criminal. And so that has created a situation, particularly in San Francisco, but we also see it here. Like, people walk into stores and then they leave with bags of stuff and nobody does anything. And it's very sad. What we see here now is a growing problem, particularly in San Francisco and other places, that theft has become normalized. And we even saw headlines to this effect from last summer. Black Lives Matter activist says Chicago looting is reparations. This is what they're calling this. Black Lives Matter Chicago organizer defends looting. BLM organizer who called looting reparations doubles down. So this is, you can see the sources for these. And, like Newsweek, that's not exactly a conservative paper. Okay. So the idea here is that there is a growing narrative in our culture, in our country, that theft is okay. Like, we're okay with that. Like, that's how poor people deal with their lives. That's how poor people get justice. And this is what I mean when we start to call something wicked good or justice. That's a problem. Let's go back to the 10 Commandments here for a minute. There is a very clear commandment of you shall not steal in Exodus chapter 20, verse 15. You shall not steal. And then we get to the details of that. How does that work out in everyday life? Well, God has some things to say about that. And stealing implies or assumes private property, that God protects private property, and he has laws in place to allow people to protect their property. We want to think about things. We don't want our souls and our thought life and our actions to be shaped more by BLM and what they're calling justice than it is by Scripture.